Hey everyone, I am back with a brand new video. It has been a while. I did make a video of a trailer I had made that was kind of a science fiction sort of horror movie, but it got taken down because there was some nuclear bomb explosions in it to kind of give it some gravitas, and I probably could have redone it and put the AI warning or whatever in the beginning. I didn't think it looked very realistic, but anyways, I just kind of left it down for now. It wasn't that important. It was just kind of me getting back into the swing of things and making a little trailer. But I am back now. Right now, what I'm going to do today is go over this site called Mage Space that I've used for a while, and it's good for making free AI images, unlimited, I believe. Yeah, it's unlimited. You do have a little bit of access with a free account, but it's kind of been a backup for me and something I've used for quite a while to make images for videos and things like that. And anyways, they updated it about, I think it was close to 2 months ago, maybe a little over a month ago. I actually meant to finish this up a little earlier, but I'm getting around to it now. So let me just kind of show you around for now. So as you can see, they have these, they call them apps. What the app is, it's basically just a configuration to make a certain kind of image. Like for example, this one is dark hallway, so I would assume it makes creepy dark hallways, etc. But let me go ahead and get into mine. So these are some of the apps I have made. The bottom right here is the oldest, and these are the newest. And one of the main reasons too I'm doing this is to show you these ones up here I've made that I actually made to help you make your own images if you want, and I'll show you kind of how I'm using it. But let me just get right in here, and I'll go ahead and just start from the bottom here with this very first one I released. I had another one, but I deleted it. And this one I made is just called the Everything app, and my idea for this was just that it'll make an image of pretty much anything and everything. And there is a portrait. So that was my idea behind this, and I'll go ahead and run a couple more of these. I kind of like these because I never really know what it's going to make. That is some kind of a engine. Let me just go back to my page here and we'll go over a couple of the other ones. So this one is called Monster Portrait, and I'll kind of show you the workings of this one so you can see what's going on here, and then I'll get into some of my other ones. So I'm going to go ahead and run this once again normal, and then I'll show you this, and then I'll get into the others when I get to the end there with the artist ones. Okay, and there's a snake. So if you want, like I can get in here too and change the randomness. So right now, you'll see whenever the word blue appears, it's going to replace it with one of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and let's just put it on white, and let's just make white dragons, and we'll go ahead and leave that random. So now it's just going to make white dragons, but it's going to use one of these modifiers here on them randomly every time. So what I really like about this site is it's great to test mods and things because you see it renders the image in about 3 seconds. So you can make a config here and then just run through a bunch of stuff either randomly or set it to exactly what you want, and then just kind of test different mods in your prompts, that kind of thing. That's kind of what I've been using it for, as well as making some images. And I kind of like these ones. So let me go ahead now. I'll show you a little bit more depth here. So that's one thing you can do with them. And here's another one. Let me do one more of these. Like this one, for example, makes action figures. I'm not sure if you can. I do have a paid account. It gives you access to a few more of the modifiers and things like that. This might be one of them. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. But let me go ahead and get into these for you because that's what the main reason this was anyway. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make these. And I also have some of these saved privately, like this one, for example, because I'm using this to make some pictures for some of my Suno songs, some metal songs. Now, if you notice, this is taking a lot longer to run. It's not because I have it set up differently. I'm not using the fast lightning model. I'm just using text to image. And here is we can get all that stuff that we're used to, like for those of us who are used to running notebooks and Comfy UI and that kind of thing. So we still have all the tools here that the old Mage have. You just have to get in a little further here. And you can also get in here and change things like the sampler. Let me see, where did it go? Oh, here we go. Okay, click more options, and here's all the stuff that we're used to: the steps, the guidance, the scheduler right here. I'm using Euler A or Euler A, however you say it, for ancestral, which gives a more realistic, If I wanted it to be more on the artistic side, I would use just the plain oiler. So it does still have all the tools we're used to and the 1.5 models, that kind of thing. So that's what I did for this because I just wanted a little more. I just wanted a little more control. You know, the fast generations give you. So that is still in here as well. And there's the last image that rendered. See, that's a little more detailed. And this is the kind of thing that I want. I'm making some videos for some metal songs I've actually made with Suno. Now, I've been making my own songs for a long time. I just started recently kind of getting into AI music as well, which is kind of ironic because I actually started this to make videos for my own music. Now I'm using AI for some music too, but it's really fun. All this stuff is. So let me go ahead now and get back into what I wanted to show you here, these artist styles, and you should be able to use all these. Now I did label these mature because I do have some fantasy art scenes. Anytime you do fantasy art, every once in a while might get, a topless woman, that kind of thing. Fantasy artists like to throw that stuff in, but I'm not sure if you I think you can still run them, but if not, let me know and I'll make some that you can that I'll just have to really kind of go hardcore on the censoring or put in some negative prompts or something. I'm not sure. So let's say I just want to make, let's say I just want to make a fantasy scene. And I just want to see a portrait of a person. And then I have, these are different artists here and it will show their different styles. So I'm going to start here with this one and then I'll just go down the list and you can see how the artist is going to affect the style. And my idea of this was to put in kind of a generic, every kind of subject you can have. And you can see this has some really nice lines and kind of a post art look. This is why I really like this artist for things like this. And you can also test it on other things like cars, but this artist does pretty smooth kind of line art. And now I'm going to go to the next one. And again, we're still doing just a fantasy scene portrait. Okay, and you can see how that changed style quite drastically. And then here's the next one. Fred McCubbin does kind of old school oil landscapes, kind of like Asher Brown Duran. So we'll get that kind of an effect here. Yeah, you see real nice kind of oil painterly style. And then let's go to the next one. This will be sci-fi, kind of sci-fi retro, I believe, 70s retro. That's what we could get from this artist. Yeah, that's definitely a sci-fi looking kind of a book cover from the 60s or so. You could easily put that on a science fiction book cover back then. I really like that one too. And this should be surrealistic, I believe, possibly with a guy wearing a hat. So I've used, yay, there's a guy with a hat. And very, very nice style too. You notice that looks really clean, especially for a 3-second image. You still get really pretty good detail out of these. I'm really surprised at how far this stuff has come and how far it's going to go very fastly, I'm sure. So anyways, that is what this does. And there we have, I'm going to guess Sid Mead, Sid Mead, the sci-fi car. Now Louise Neville, so I'm not going to go over every artist because I've got 7 of these with 11 artists in each one. But this one will get this artist did like 3D sculptures, kind of abstract. So we'll get like some good depth and shadow, kind of blocky looking sculpture work, as you can see there. That looks like it's made out of wood. And what is also affecting this that I picked fantasy scene and a portrait. So you got to take that in consideration too. Like this artist maybe didn't do a lot of portraits, so it's probably not what you want to use for a portrait. But then if you want to do something different, like a building, and they are a sculpture, so let's just put a sculpture of a building, and I'll bet we'll get something that will work this style a little better. Well, that's not very impressive, but it is a building. Let's just do a illustration. Anyways, you get the idea. Each artist will add its own sort of texture and flavor to your prompt. And that's what I made this for. And you can also just modify this a little bit and then save it in your private collection if you want. I don't care if you repost these as an app as well. I just made these to help people basically. And what was on again? I think I was on fantasy. Let's just change it to a sci-fi portrait. Maybe we'll get robots. Ivan this should be a lot like Asher Brown Duran. We'll get kind of a landscapey one. That's pretty nice, especially for a sci-fi. Oh yeah, I think he does ocean scenes. So yeah, the boats in the ocean. Okay. He was actually one of the very first artists I think that they included in the original Disco Diffusion prompt, along with Greg Rutkowski, who famously was really mad about that. He's a fantasy artist, and I'm sure millions of images got made in the style of Greg Rutkowski just because he was one of the original ones included. So anyways, that's what I made these for you to use and save as your own app, or you can remix it. For example, you can just go like this. This is the remix, these buttons here, and then it will give you the whole prompt. Let me. Oh yeah, actually I didn't go over this very well. Let me go over this now then. So the modifier I'm using here to make this, there's just one for this, and this is just the fast text image. You can go to text image. That's how I did my one with the heavy metal thing. But like I said, I really like using this just to test prompts and modifiers because you can set up a whole string of stuff with the dynamic prompts. So what a dynamic prompt does is this. It will take one word of the prompt. Here's my prompt, a pencil sketch of a landscape. And so for the word landscape, it's going to substitute, it's either going to use, it still will use your original word every once in a while. So it'll use either landscape or one of these other 10 options: building, robot, interior room, cat, alien, cityscape, cat, etc., etc. Now I've made all of these the same. You'll see each one has 3 different wildcards. There's also the type of art, like this first one was a pencil sketch. It could also be oil painting, watercolor, portrait, pixel art, sculpture. My idea was just to try to encompass every subject in about every basic art style that exists for the most part. Okay, and then so you can just substitute these for whatever you want, like, and if you just have, like, say you just want to do robots, you can also just go ahead and run the app and then change it like I did the first one. Let's go ahead and go to a different one. Let's go to 3. Actually, no, let me go to 4 because let me show you one other thing I did change. I think, let me check. I'll go ahead and run this first and just kind of show you this one last thing here. Then I think I'll wrap this up and get on to some previews of what I'm doing next. So once you get like this, like say you just want to do a robot, you can just put this on, let's have it be a comic book page. You can just put it on robot, and we'll get a comic page of a robot, and then you can just test out the different artists there. I'm going to show you one thing I did change. So there's 7 of these right now, and I am going to make some more. I'm actually kind of waiting. I'm going to see if because I labeled it mature, if that does not let people use it with a free account. I will test that and find it out, and if that is the case, I'll make some that I won't have to label mature. Like I said, every once in a while, with especially with a bunch of different artists running fantasy scenes, you might get something slightly not safe for work. So that's why I put the M rating on it. Okay, and so there's the robot. And then, like I said, I can just go down here and then just test it with all of these other options. But let me show you now how just to kind of mix it up. Then I'll continue on with the dynamic prompts that I was showing you. So the one thing I wanted to point out, there is one difference between the first 3 and the last 4. The first 3 I did had interior of a room as one of the subjects, and I so would do stuff like that, but I substitute that for castle just because a lot of the interiors were just looking the same. They do change, but I just kind of did it for a change of pace. I just didn't want to make any more interiors. So you can take this too and just do something like this. Like you can take out robot, put in like a inside of a movie theater, and substitute that. Now, since it's slightly different, if you don't change anything, it will not let you save it. I'm going to go ahead and generate it once. So you do have to, if you're using anybody else's app setup here, you do have to change it. And there's the new picture. And now what you do is you can either hit launch app or save config. Now, I would advise against saving config for now, just because, well, let me show you mine. It's not going to show me here, but I've got a lot of configs saved, or I can do it this way. You see this? These are all the configs that I've done, and you cannot erase them. So at least not right now. I think they're going to work on that. But here's something else you can do, and then just turn it off to that. Hit app, just turn off the app visibility, and then nobody can use it but you. Or you can, you can put it out there for other people to use. But if you just want to make some private ones for yourself, to hide your prompts or whatever, just do that, and then you can save it. And like I said, this is just a really great way to just kind of test out different mods and images. I'll go ahead and go to this last one and just do a couple more. And I think this has like, yeah, like Da Vinci and Picasso. Let's do some Van Goghs. I always like Van Goghs. Let's do a Van Gogh cat in. Let's do a sculpture. Let's have Van Gogh doing a sculpture of a cat. And there it is. And that is pretty cool. I always like the kind of swirlies you get from Van Gogh. So this is the new Mage Space layout, and I really like it. It's great. Like I said, it's great for just testing prompts, adding your prompts, and saving configurations, that kind of thing. And I'm going to close out now. I'm going to show a quick video of what some of the next things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show you guys how to make some looping videos with iPiv Morpher and Comfy UI. So I'm using Comfy UI now for quite a few things. I The deform notebook does still work. You can still use it for images and things, but I don't believe it has or excuse me, the SDXL support, and I don't know if they're still working. I don't think they are. Everything's kind of been going towards Auto 1111 and Comfy UI for a long time, even before I was kind of gone for a while. And the Comfy UI in particular, you can just load up the workflows and just it's a lot easier. I understand why everything's gone that way because you can just load up workflow and boom, have access to a video configuration or images or whatever, and it's really quick and it does so many things. So I'm going to be diving into that next, and I'm going to be making some videos for some of my songs and stuff, and I'll kind of show you how I make those. And I'll close out here and I'll just throw a teaser of one of the videos that I'm making right now with looping. So thank you everyone. I will be making a lot more videos soon and maybe even some streaming stuff coming up shortly. So thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your night, and I will see you next time.